President Truman was a fantastic president. He made great decisions for our country, and we need examples for people of all ages of a leader like Harry Truman.
I was fascinated by the simple man attitude of Truman, and then the moments that he was thrown into.
He's such an admirable figure because he was someone who had convictions and knew what was right and what was wrong.
He was a lifelong learner.
He was an incredible leader.
But once he made the decision, it was made, and he took responsibility for it. The buck stopped there, as the saying goes.
Well, I've said repeatedly that it's a great time to be in the Truman business. Harry Truman represents something to us that I think is the better part of ourselves.
It's the 75th anniversary of Truman's presidency, which provides us a wonderful opportunity to do an amazing plan to remind America and visitors and students about Truman and what a great leader he was. President Truman was a fantastic president. He made great decisions for our country. He was also a great leader. He was also a great human being, and we need examples for people of all ages of a leader like Harry Truman.
He was a natural-born leader. He was profoundly, scrupulously honest. He was a huge student of history. Most of all, he had great judgment in people and in challenges.
One of Truman's objectives, of course, was for this to be an educational museum and library, and so I do feel like they do an incredible job with the White House Decision Center, field trips, other programming in terms of taking history and making it something that's very relatable and livable, and allowing students to use that history, to relive that history, and understand how that actually does apply today and how we can learn from history.
Looking around this library, the judicial branch, the legislative branch, understanding the Constitution and democracy, these are all things that I really felt like when we grew up, we got a really solid core of that, and I just hope that our children today get the same thing. Not only our children, but our children's children.
The renovated Truman Library is going to be a wonderful educational resource for the Kansas City community, and more specifically, the dozens of schools and school districts that were partners of ours before we closed and will be partners again once we reopen. And their experience will be better because of the quality of the museum experience and because of the educational strategy and elements that we've worked into this.
We're hoping that this gallery helps people remember the past and the importance that it plays in your future, in your ability to be a good citizen and vote with knowledge and with reflection on your past, your present, and where you'd like the country to go in the future.
And I just have to think that Mr. Truman would be very proud of the educational outreach that this institution does.
The plan for the Truman Library and its renovation addressed a number of very important needs that the Truman Library's old museum did not have.
What we really wanted to look at was, let's get it back down to thinking about what would make it for the next 20, 50 years an important new institution and facility.
When we started, we weren't sure if we could really fit the whole story. And in the end, we were able to really make it flow much more, I think, smoothly and eloquently than we had thought might be possible.
When you look at the context of a museum experience, you have to know today that everybody comes with a different lens. So when a family's in a space together, it's our goal to be able to give enough diversity of engagement that the family stays together and that they talk about what they're doing.
Our rebuilding, reimagining, and recreating of the museum that tells the story of Harry Truman's life is one of the most important events in the history of his presidential library. This is the museum for the next generation of Americans who maybe know his name but don't know his story. And And we're going to bring that story to them in a compelling and lasting way.
I was extremely proud to be involved and honored. It's going to always hold a really special place for me.
The Stay TRU fundraising campaign started about 4 years ago. It's gone incredibly well. People from all over the country have stepped up in response to Why Truman, Why Now, and helped us out.
This campaign matters to me and our community because we owe Truman and his legacy sort of the best version of itself.
If you're in Kansas City, this is one of only a few in the country. It's an iconic cultural institution here. I think we need to preserve it for the future. The story that's told here should be important across the country and across the world when you think about those decisions that were made at a critical time in world history that we're still benefiting from today.
I think it's a civic treasure, first of all, draws people to Kansas City, but I think remembering history is really important.
When you walk in, you immediately know you're at a world-class museum. I think it does raise the bar. I think it sets a new standard.
When I look at what I know is in the presidential library system, I think you can proudly say Truman will be the new benchmark for presidential libraries.
I think having a presidential library in the city is a rare opportunity. There's a handful of them. And I just think it's just a special place for us to bring our children and grandchildren to see this place.
Not only is there just doing the right thing to preserve, honor, uplift Truman's legacy and knowledge and have this amazing resource here in Kansas City or in Independence in the Kansas City area, but also, I mean, sort of selfishly, individually, I think knowing that you contributed and you were part of this incredible museum, walking through here and thinking like, I helped make this happen, is pretty cool.